Hello everyone, welcome to World in the Wild. You guys must be thinking what I'm doing here on my chair in front of my PC. I should be out there in the field, right? No, not today, because today it's a special day. What's so special about this is, here you go. That's the day. This is Nikon Z mount 180-600 lens that I just recently bought. So this baby will be going with my Nikon Z8. I must be crazy, right? I already have a lens that is from Sigma 60-600, but why this? Man, this lens is just amazing. It didn't let me sit alone in peace without owning this. So you guys, ignore my messy table, ignore the background, focus here. I will be unboxing this and see what we have inside. So first of all, it's a huge box. So huge, it's double the size of my Sigma lens which I owned. Okay, so this, what we have inside is, okay, that's some warranty cards and NPM stuff. Let's open it. Can't wait, because this I can't wait to take this lens to the field. Some Nikon stuff we have in the box here, a bag. So I'm pretty much familiar with this lens because I have seen so many unboxing on the YouTube, and this time I am making it for myself. I'm very excited actually. This is the lens hood. That's the bag which comes with the Nikon lenses. The thing is that, why Nikon, you don't give us the bags like Sigma do? But no offense, I love Nikon so much, and they are not giving the bag. They are only giving the bag with the S-class lenses that are very premium. So let's get this big boy. Let's get this out. Wow, this lens is very nicely bubble wrapped, and I will be putting this down, and wow, so here we go. Finally I own this lens, and honestly this is very small. And the first interesting thing about this lens is that there is internal zoom, there is no external zoom, which means this lens will not go bigger in size when we are zooming it. So this is something amazing, and that thing kept me waiting to own this lens one day. So the thing is, I'm very excited, and I will explain some things about this. And another thing which I will be doing is, because I already have a Sigma lens that is right at the back side, I will be doing a comparison that what is the difference between this lens and the one I recently bought. The first thing you can see is this is pretty huge and heavy as well, and this is very light. So I'll just quickly attach this lens hood for this. Here we go. And after the hood, the size becomes a little big. Otherwise the lens is very compact, very beautifully designed, very smooth. I just love this lens. Guys, I just unboxed this lens. What are the specs of this lens? First of all, this is a Z mount lens made from Nikon, internal zoom lens. And what's an internal zoom is that the lens does not extends when we have to reach for its maximum 600 mm, for example. It will be doing the internal zoom that is similar to the Sony 200-600. So this is basically in rival with that lens. That was a very damn good lens actually. I have used it. I don't own it, but that was a very beautiful lens. So what we have in this lens is that we have a beautiful lens hood that is changed from the previous design, that we just have a push button and we will push it, and it will be pulled out, and it's very firm. And the front end is a slight plastic. Actually they should have made it as a rubber. That would be nice from the breakage and also that stuff. So this lens is very premium looking lens, and it's redesigned. Here we have the manual and autofocus button, and there is a full to infinity button over here. We don't have any screen over here which shows us the extension of the lens, at what reach we are focusing the lens. We have a lens collar over here that can be rotated, that is for holding the lens like that. And what we don't have here is that there is no click sound. We don't have any click sound, and it's a little sturdy. It's like, you know, it's very smooth, but there is no click sound. What happens in the click sound is that at least you know that it's on which direction. It's 90 degree, 180 degree, or at the side. So this is something what is lacking over here. But we do have the marks on the lens collar and the dots, which can be, you know, if they can be aligned to know that on what direction is the lens currently. The lens collar is over there. Lens collar is okay. So lens collar on this is not very nice actually. It does not has the arc Swiss, which means that it cannot be attached to all the tripods and gimbals. So what we have to do, there is a special plate that is available online, which you can order and fix it with the screws over here, and after that you can mount this lens over here. Talking about the internal zoom, this is very nice, and it's like it goes from 180 to 600 in just a slight twist, not like you have to do 2 times. That was the case with the Nikon 200 to 500. That was a great lens, but it was, you know, we have to do it twice. We have to rotate it twice. There are function button for the memory call, that you can set any function keys over here, for example, like from switch to FX or DX, or focusing or something like that. So that is something very nice which they have introduced in this lens. And this is 95. The lens, the front face of the lens is 95 mm, which means that you can use the filters over here that are not very expensive. So I just can't wait that to take this lens out there in the field. I bought this lens because there was a sale going on over here. It was like $300 cheap, so I just can't wait to get this lens. Approximately its price is like $16.99, but I got it in $14.90, and that is just amazing deal. That is even cheaper from the US price. And because I kept on waiting for this lens, so I've been birding my whole life with third party lenses. That was never from a Nikon. So this time I wanted to have a native lens, and this the native lens combo is always good compatible with the camera. And no doubt the Sigma lens which I have right now, that's a very good lens, but there are some drawbacks which I will be explaining now, and I will be doing a slight comparison. In future I will be making the video for the comparison in the field for the both lenses, but right now I will just do a quick comparison of this lens as compared. So first thing about Sigma, this is a very heavy lens, a pretty heavy lens. Another thing, it's very well built as well. It's like a tank. It's a tank, and you can say you can feel the weight of it. And sometimes you are, you know, aiming it in the field, you do get, you know, exhausted holding this. This is one of the reasons. No offense, this is a great lens, but this is one of the things you have to use this lens in the field with a tripod. That's I would recommend. I can hold big lenses, but still I do get exhausted sometime in the field carrying it all along. And this happened recently. I was not expecting, but this happened. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that this is an extendable zoom. So which means that the weight of this lens goes beyond the center. So this is something an old-fashioned way which have been in the previous lenses, and so does the Sigma. I don't know why Sigma is not making any Z mount lenses. We just have to use FTZ adapter to make this lens attached to the Z cameras, the new mirrorless Z series. What's the good thing about this lens was it had the good tripod collar, and that was the arc Swiss, and very well built that you can hold it like for a long time and carrying in the field, which is not the case in the Z 180 to 600. It's a little small as compared to this Sigma, but we can attach a plate to that, and in that case you can attach to the gimbal or anything like, you know, tripods. Another thing about this lens that I'm just putting a Roland Pro cover over here to protect this lens. This is also, I recently bought this lens. Before I had the 150-600 Sigma Contemporary, and this lens has quite a few buttons on it. There are some buttons like, you know, stabilization and focus, etc. But when compared with this new lens of Nikon, this is not the case. Most of the things here are kept automatic. The things have changed pretty much. We don't have much button over here. Most of the things are controlled through the camera itself from the inside. You just have to switch from the screen and you can do the moves like which we have, like sports, and or like stabilization is auto in this. Now let's compare about the size of this lens. If you can see, the lens are over here, placed over here. They are almost equal in size, but the Nikon does not has right now the hood attached to it. The lens hood is not there, it's still sitting with me. But I have attached the lens hood to the Sigma, and they are almost identical in the size. But now, for example, if I have to extend this lens, so this lens will become pretty long when we have to zoom in, attaching the hood of it. But when I attach this lens hood to Nikon, at this side it becomes longer. The lens is now longer than the Sigma, but the thing is, when I extend the zoom, the Sigma is slightly longer than the Nikon Z lens. So in this case, the thing is, almost there is no such difference. So this is a pretty long lens and it's not very heavy. It's a good compatible size for carrying around, and you can say with the hood it becomes pretty extended. So that's okay. That's not a big letdown. So this is something I love to do actually, because both lens have some weight, and this guy is a little heavy as compared to this guy, and these are good for my muscles actually, and I will not be carrying both at once. And who knows, I am on certain trip that where I will be carrying both of these lenses, one with the DSLR and one with the Nikon Z. That's pretty nice actually, because sometimes, you know, the reach is less. The 600 reach is less as compared to the 900, because I have a Nikon D500, which when paired with the 600mm lens, it becomes approximately 900mm. So that's a very good reach for, especially for the birds, because this is my main target which I am mostly shooting. And I'm very excited to actually basically test this lens, because there were so many nice reviews of this lens on the internet and very good feedback from the Nikon users. So that was a must-have lens, and I will be making another video where I will be explaining more about this lens as compared with the Sigma 600, because there are so many reviews on the internet about this lens. But there is something which I might want to make about this lens, is that the comparison of this lens with the third-party lens, that is 600. Both lenses are very sharp, and both have almost same elements and feature inside. Of course, there is a difference in the glass, but they both are f-stop 6.3. This is also a but you have a slight more reach in Sigma, because it's 60-600, in which you can make portraits as well, which I don't recommend because it's very heavy, but you can do pretty nice landscapes, and the reach is almost same. Both are 600 and f6.3. But the thing is, the stabilization in this lens is pretty nice, and it's more as compared to the Sigma. Sigma has, I believe, 3.5 stops, but this lens is claimed to have 6 stops with the camera, and that is something amazing, because when you are making the handheld videos, this guy will be rock steady. So this is something very nice, and I need to test this thing. So in the next video, what I will be doing this is that I will be taking this lens to the field, and I will be doing some test shots and the sharpness test, and in future I will make the video as well with this lens and this Sigma lens, and I will do the comparison for those people who have a 600 lens and they want to switch to Nikon 180-600. So I'll try to show that they should switch or not. So what will be the next step? is that when I will be testing this lens is that I will be removing the FTZ converter from my camera Nikon Z8, and because now it does not need it, we can just directly connect the lens to this Z lens. So this guy will be going off from this camera, and I will be using this directly with the lens. So this is something also a good thing, but I will keep the 60-600. Who knows, I can use it. Still I have some DSLRs like Nikon D500 and Nikon D780, so I'll be using that with that lens, and I will be using the Nikon Z lens with the Nikon Z8. So this is something I'm really excited about. So guys, this was just a small video which I just love to make for this my new gear whenever I purchase some stuff like this, because my main thing is to go in the field and have some shots and all that stuff. But whenever I take some gear which is helping me in achieving my birds photography targets and all that stuff, lifers, etc., so I do make such videos in which I am explaining about the things which I own, and I pair them and use them in my field adventures. So this is something I wanted to make, and uh, let's see, in the field now I will be soon making another video in which I will be giving my feedback about this lens combination with Z8. Of course this will be an amazing pair, but the thing is, this is something from my side, a user who was using a third party lenses before, and I would love to give my comparison and feedback, so it might help some people to purchase this lens, and they can choose between that which of the lens they would prefer. They should shift to this lens or they should not shift, because the Sigma is basically higher in price as compared to the Nikon is pretty cheap, and this is one of the things that is attractive to get this lens. So guys, I will be meeting you in another video where I will be telling about my feedback from this lens, and either way I will be in the field or I will be sitting here on the same chair explaining you that how the things went with this lens, and I'm really excited to test this. So see you guys.